parade second in command is marching to assume command of the parade. He will soon invite the other parade appointments to take up their positions.
Appointment to the front and rear of your contingent. By the center. Go! March!
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, there are 7 contingents on parade this morning. If you are seated facing the contingent from left to right in front is the number 1 graduating contingent. The commander of the contingent is Junior Under Officer Banachiga Maximus. His supernumeraries are Cadet Corporal Gideon Opoku Buedum and Senior Cadet Kayola Nyame. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Staff Sergeant Tefe Peter. The next is the number 2 graduating contingent. It is under the command of Cadet Sergeant Chikwao Emmanuel Kwisiba. His supernumeraries are Naval Cadet Kui Antoinette Ayoko and Naval Cadet Edu Ofosuhene Nanayao. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Petty Officer Class 2 Na Michael. The next is the number 3 graduating contingent. It is under the command of Cadet Sergeant Major Takiotu Ni Ohene, with Cadet Quartermaster Sergeant Adamukutu Yusuf and Cadet Corporal Derry Nuata Malcolm as his supernumeraries. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Sergeant Nati Albert. The next is the number 4 graduating contingent. It is under the command of Junior Under Officer Menu Apel Daniel, with Cadet Corporal Odum Makafui and Senior Cadet Opoku Asante Samuel as his supernumeraries. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Staff Sergeant Osei Michael. The next is the Air Force Escort Contingent. It is under the command of Flight Cadet Opata Nehemiah. The supernumeraries are Flight Cadet Hayford Mamaba Islifua and Flight Cadet Awudu Mustafa Lukman. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Sergeant Gulu Frank. The next is the Army Escort Contingent. It is under the command of Cadet Sergeant Kobe Kingsford Nyanibe, with Officer Cadet Azuma Abdul Fatal and Officer Cadet Amegashi Joshua as the supernumeraries. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Staff Sergeant Opoku Mensa Bernard. The next is the Navy Escort Contingent, made up of permanent staff from the Ghana Navy. It is under the command of Cadet Corporal Alafa Anyateba Daniel. His supernumeraries are Naval Cadet Quason Richard and Naval Cadet Amega Frida. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Petty Officer Class 2 Hansen William. Parade Second in Command will soon hand over command of the parade to the parade commander.
Parade! Parade! Set!
Riding the horse this morning is the ceremonial parade adjutant, Captain Daniel Buedu Opoku. Captain Opoku was born on 31st October 1993 at Osu in Accra. He attended Achimota Basic School, following which he continued to the Achimota Senior High School, where he obtained a West African Secondary Certificate on completion in 2012. He furthered his education at the University of Ghana, Legon, where he pursued and obtained a degree in agricultural science. Captain Opoku was commissioned into the Ghana Armed Forces on 19th October 2018 as part of regular career course 58. It is worth noting that he graduated from the academy as the overall best cadet of his intake and was the parade commander some 8 years ago. On commissioning, Captain Opoku was posted to the 1 Infantry Battalion as platoon commander. He was later posted to the Ghana Military Academy, where he served as an instructor till date.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Ghana Military Academy 2026 graduation parade formed up. 2 officers, 256 graduating cadets, 124 permanent staff, and the Armed Forces Mass Band on parade, ready for takeover. Junior Under Officer Abayate Alex Kojo reporting. May I have your permission to follow? Follow!
Junior Under Officer Abayate Alex Kojo has handed over and will now take his position on the square. The parade commander for today's graduation parade is Senior Under Officer Ajare Peter Selom. Senior Under Officer Ajare Peter Selom has taken over command of the parade. He will now invite the colors to march on parade. As the colors pass in front of where you are seated, you are humbly requested to rise as a mark of compliment to the colors. All personnel are requested to pay the appropriate compliment.
March on the colors. Right! Free! Then! Arms! Kalapate! By the center! Quick! March!
ladies and gentlemen, an important feature of every military parade is the custom of carrying colors or flags. In the past, each regiment or unit carried a flag into battle as a rallying point for its troops. Unlike the colors today, which bears the badges of achievement of a regiment and its crest, early flags were basically banners of just a single color, hence the term colors. Colors are so important that during battles in the past, officers and men would rather tear their colors and distribute amongst themselves than have it fall in the hands of the enemy. Paying compliments to the colors is therefore a tribute to the sovereign authority of the nation or a military unit's past accomplishments, and those who died for those accomplishments. Colors are awarded to a unit by the head of state at a formal and solemn ceremony. On parade this morning are the National and Ghana Military Academy colors, which were presented to the Academy on 17th August 1985 on the occasion of the school's Silver Jubilee by then Commander-in-Chief, former President Jerry John Rawlings of blessed memory. The colors were received on behalf of the unit by Officer Cadet Christopher Jacinse and Officer Cadet Moses Mohammed Ayi, who later commissioned and retired as Brigadier Generals. The colors were presented in the time of regular career corps 25 and short service corps 24. The opportunity to carry colors is considered a great honor for a young officer, and historically, only the most courageous young officers were assigned to carry the unit's colors during battle. Nowadays, the honor is given to the smartest young officers who excel at drill and who are physically fit. This morning, Senior Cadet Bidu Abraham, the Senior Ensign, is carrying the national color, while Senior Cadet Kweku Joy, the Junior Ensign, is carrying the academy color. Because of their importance, colors are always protected by a detachment of elite soldiers referred to as color escorts. The color escorts for today are Officer Cadet Afo Michael, Officer Afeto Courage, and Officer Cadet Odro Osu Jeremiah. With the colors on parade now, all is set for the arrival of dignitaries.
First to arrive is the Commandant of the Ghana Military Academy. Arriving now is the Commandant, Ghana Military Academy, Major General Cornelius Kobla Lisa.
Shin! Show!
Upon his arrival, the cadets will sing the Academy anthem.
General salute! Present! Arms! Right! Show!
You're welcome, sir.
The Academy anthem.
welcome, sir. The tune you just heard was the Academy Anthem. It was composed by Colonel Francis Kweku, Enin retired, to give the Ghana Military Academy a unique identity. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to give you a profile of the Commandant of the Ghana Military Academy. Major General Cornelius Kobla Letha was born on 30th April 1968 at the then Malta Regiment Barracks in Hull. He received early secondary school education at Bishop Herman College, Pando, where he obtained the General Certificate of Education Ordinary Level between 1981 and 1986. He later proceeded to Pope John Secondary School and Minor Seminary, completing the Advanced Level program from 1986 to 1988. He was enlisted into the Ghana Armed Forces in November 1989 and underwent basic military training at the Ghana Military Academy, Teshi. On 16 August 1991, he was commissioned into the Ghana Army as an infantry officer as part of Regular Career Course 31. Following his commissioning, he was posted to the 3 Infantry Battalion, where he served as a platoon commander from August 1991 to December 1994. During this period, he also undertook peace support operations, serving with the Ghana Battalion 11 under the Economic Community of West African States Ceasefire Monitoring Group in Liberia from December 1995 to October 1996. He later served with the Ghana Battalion 46 as part of the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon from February to August 1997. Upon his return, he held several platoon and company command appointments at the Army Recruits Training School. Throughout his career, Major General Letha has attended numerous professional military courses, both locally and internationally. These include the Regimental Signal Officers and Regimental Signal Instructors course at the Signal Training School in 1991, the Young Officers course at the Military Academy and Training School Teshi from August to December 1992, and the Basic Military Law course at the Ghana Armed Forces Legal Services in early 1994. He also completed the Jungle Expert and Instructed course in 1998. And from July to November 1999, he attended the Junior Staff course at the Armed Forces Command and Staff College in Jaji, Kaduna, Nigeria. He further completed the Combat Team Commanders course at the Military Academy and Training Schools in 2002 and attended the United Nations Staff Officer in Greece in April 2004. He undertook the Senior Staff course at the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College from 2004 to 2005 and was subsequently appointed Assistant Director of Army Operations at the Army Headquarters in 2005. In 2006, he served as a Deputy Commanding Officer and Operations Officer during the United Nations operations in Côte d'Ivoire. He later served as a Military Staff Officer with the African Union missions in Darfur, Sudan, from March 2007 to September 2008. In September 2008, he was appointed as second in command of 3 Infantry Battalion. Major General Letha served as the commanding officer of the Ghana Battalion 12 during the United Nations peacekeeping mission in Liberia from March to November 2010. Upon his arrival, he was appointed commanding officer of the 3 Infantry Battalion, a position he held from November 2010 to January 2013. He again served on peacekeeping duties as commanding officer during the United Nations mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo from January to August 2013. In September 2014, he was appointed course director at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. In furtherance of his professional development, he attended the Defense and Strategic Studies course at the International College of Defense Studies in China from 2018 to 2019, where he obtained a Master of Military Science in Strategic Studies from the National Defense University. Thereafter, he served as Director of Plans and later as Deputy Director General at the General Headquarters. He was subsequently appointed Chief Coordinator and later Deputy Commander at the Headquarters Army Training Command. He also served as Deputy Director General at the Inspector General Department of General Headquarters. followed by an appointment as Deputy Chief Staff Officer for Plans and Policy at Army Headquarters. He later served as Senior Director Staff at the National College of Defense Studies. Major General Cornelius Kobla-Litha is currently the Commandant of the Ghana Military Academy, a position he has held since April 2025. He has been awarded the Long Service and Efficiency Medal. He is married and enjoys soccer and tennis.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, next to arrive are the commandants of the training commands of the Ghana Armed Forces and the presidents of the National Defense University. Ladies and gentlemen, arriving now at the Commandant's National College of Defense Studies, the Commandant's Training and Doctrine Command, the Commandant's Kofi Annan International Training Center, the Commandant's Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College, and the President of the National Defense University. In the lead vehicle is the Commandant's National College of Defense Studies, Major General Frederick Intiri. His vehicle is followed by the Commandant of the Training and Doctrine Command, Rear Admiral Maxwell Ahin, the Commandant of the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Air Vice Marshal David Anete Akrong, the Commandant's Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Major General Jackson Wonje. And in the last vehicle is the President of the National Defense University, Air Vice Marshal Felix Adom Asante. You're welcome, sir.
The journey of Regular Career Corps 64 commenced on 16th May 2024 when 211 comprising 141 Army, 36 Naval, and 34 Air Force cadets reported to the prestigious Ghana Military Academy. Out of these, 180 were males and 31 were females. These men and women drawn from diverse backgrounds embarked on a transformative 20-month training program designed to forge them into disciplined and skilled officers capable of defending the nation's sovereignty. Upon reporting, cadets were immediately immersed in the disciplined life of military service, beginning their orientation training at the Naval Training Command, NUTECPO, as part of their 20-month officer training program. During the course of the training, 7 exceptional cadets were selected for further development through overseas training opportunities. These cadets demonstrated outstanding academic, physical, and leadership abilities, earning them the privilege of continuing their military education at some of the prestigious military academies worldwide. 2 Army cadets, Officer Cadet Adamte Marthe Prince and Officer Cadet Awuni Adams, were sent to the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst in the United Kingdom. Also, 1 Air Force cadet, Flight Cadet Tete Edwin Latte, was sent to the Royal Air Force Academy Cranwell, also in the UK. 1 Army cadet, Officer Cadet Niefan Jonathan, and 2 Naval cadets, Naval Cadet Opoku Newman and Naval Cadet Owusu Ansa Roda, were sent to Germany to attend the Halfbeck Engineering Unit for specialized training in military engineering at the Naval Academy Milwaukee. With just about a few weeks to commission, Naval Cadet Ado Yerinchi was also sent to Britannia Royal Naval College in the United Kingdom, Dartmouth, for the initial Naval Officers Training course. In the course of the training, 17 cadets had their training terminated on various grounds, including medical, physical unfitness, and disciplinary issues, leaving a current intake strength of 185. The cadets embody a broad spectrum of academic disciplines from across various universities, bringing a wealth of knowledge and fresh perspective into the military training.
Next to arrive are the Chief of Staff General Headquarters and the Service Chiefs. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, arriving now are the Chief of Staff General Headquarters and the Service Chiefs.
Great! Great! Sing! Show that!
Leading the convoy is the Chief of Staff at the General Headquarters, Air Vice Marshal Joshua Latte Mensa Lakai, followed by the Chief of the Army Staff, Major General Lawrence Poku Betanu, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Eric Achin Frimpong, and the Chief of the Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Godwin Levenos Bessing.
Salute! Present! Arms! Right! Show that arms!
You're welcome, sir. The leadership
of that arms! Stand at 8!
The leadership
leadership of Regular Career Corps 64 was under the capable command of Lieutenant Colonel Emmanuel Bote Newson, supported by Lieutenant Commander Isaac Yao Aban, Major Desmond Cyril Kluje, Major Richard Arthur Sam, Flight Lieutenant Abel Ofoy Osabote, Captain Andrew Adai, Captain Daniel Bwedu Opoku, Captain Augustine Kweku Mensa, Captain Abeku Akom Jedu, Captain Joseph Fifi Duncan, Captain Esinamba, and Lieutenant Emmanuel Ajay.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, next to arrive is the Chief of Defense Staff. Arriving now is the Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant William.
Shin! Show that and General salute! Present! Arms! Right! Show that arms!
You're welcome, sir.
Oh, that arms! Stand at ease!
With the guidance of Corps Sergeant Major, Warrant Officer Class 2, Glago Anthony Kobla, and non-commissioned officers, Warrant Officer Class 2, Apel Bequin, Richmond, Warrant Officer Class 2, Kintinkawe Daniel, Staff Sergeant Arthur Eric, Petty Officer Class 2, Na Michael, and Chief Petty Officer Class 1, Go Kamal Dean, ensure that these cadets of Regular Career Corps 64 were prepared and ready for this day.
Arriving now are the Ministers for Interior and Defense.
Right! Right! Shin! Show that arms!
In the lead vehicle is the Minister for Interior, Honorable Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka. His vehicle is followed by the Acting Minister of Defense, Honorable Dr. Keso Ato Forsen.
Ministerial salute. Present. Arms. Show that arms.
You are most welcome, honorables.
Off that arms. Stand at ease.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all is now set for the arrival of the reviewing officer. The reviewing officer is the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. On his arrival, the national anthem will be played and all are requested to be upstanding. All personnel are to pay the appropriate compliment.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the sword being used by the parade commander this morning is the personal sword of the late Colonel Emmanuel Oseusu of Regular Career Corps 1 and the first senior under officer of the Academy. Throughout his life, he was affectionately called S.U. Oseusu. He was the parade commander of the first graduating intake and was presented with the Sword of Honor for emerging as the overall best cadet during his time of training. He donated the sword to Ghana Military Academy on the occasion of the Silver Jubilee of the Academy in 1985. The sword is now used by graduation parade commanders and then returned to a vault in the anteroom after the parade. Our gratitude to the late Colonel Oseusu for this gift, and may his soul continue to rest in perfect peace. Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to give you a brief profile of the Short Service Commission and Special Duties Course 62. Short Service Commission and Special Duties Course 62 reported to the Ghana Military Academy on Thursday, 31st July 2025 to undergo a 6-month officer cadet training program. A total of 74 cadets comprising 49 males and 25 females drawn from the Army, Navy and the Air Force were admitted into the course. The service distribution consisted of 29 Army cadets, 21 Naval cadets and 24 Air Force cadets. The cadets of Short Service Course 62 were drawn from a wide range of specialized and professional backgrounds. They included medical personnel, legal practitioners, chaplains and other professionals whose expertise are vital to the operational effectiveness of the Ghana Armed Forces. Most of these cadets reported to the Academy with no prior military exposure, yet shared a common resolve to embrace the demands of military life and responsibilities of commissioned service. Throughout the course, the cadets were immersed in the disciplines and values of military profession. They were challenged physically, mentally, and morally, developing resilience, leadership capacity, and a strong sense of duty. The rigorous training fostered teamwork, adaptability, and confidence, shaping the cadets into officers capable of operating effectively in complex and demanding environments. During the period of training, 3 cadets were released on medical grounds, leaving a graduating strength of 71. The training and development of Short Service, Commission and Special Duties Corps 62 was guided by a dedicated team of officers and instructors drawn from across the academy. The Corps Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Errol Donko, provided leadership and overall direction. The officer commanding role was held by Squadron Leader Felicia Asante. Platoon commanders were Captain Derek Ashom Tete, Fly Lieutenant Abel Ofuyo Sabuti, and Captain Godfred Boache.
Arriving now is the reviewing officer. The President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Shall we all rise to welcome him and remain standing for the national salute?
Ready! Show! Dead! Arms!
most welcome, Mr. President. All media personnel are requested to go back to the designated locations. The parade commander, senior under officer Ajari Peter Salom, will now invite the reviewing officer to inspect the parade.
Good morning, Your Excellency. Ghana Military Academy 2026 graduation parade from the 2 officers, 256 graduating cadets, 124 permanent staff, and the Armed Forces Mass Band on parade, ready for inspection. Senior Under Officer Ejari Peter Selom reporting. Your Excellency.
The parade commander, senior under officer Ajari Peter Salom, has invited the President of the Republic to inspect the parade. The President will be accompanied by the Chief of the Defense Staff, the Commandant Ghana Military Academy, the President's aide-de-camp, and the Acting Academy Sergeant Major. The smart-looking stake orderlies are Private Echampon Portia and Private Nsombila Mary.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the parade ground is deemed hallowed grounds. All pressmen are therefore please requested to stay off the parade square during the inspection.
The parade commander will now ask for permission from the reviewing officer to continue with the rest of the parade.
Parade! Parade! Shin! Your Excellency, inspection over. May I have your permission to carry on with the parade? Your Excellency.
The band will soon commence trooping in slow and quick time in pre-arranged sequence of maneuvering to take up the shape of the Edinkra symbol, Boame Namemboao, meaning help me and let me help you, to pay the highest compliment to the reviewing officer and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces.
Band! Troop!
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this symbol, Boame Namemboao, is a symbol of working together and being dependent on one another. It symbolizes cooperation, teamwork, and mutual support, often visualized as interlocking shapes of hands, reinforcing the idea that people need each other to thrive and achieve a common goal. The mass band on parade this morning is made up of Armed Forces Central Band, Ghana Navy Band, and the Air Force Band. The mass band has become one of the numerous key instruments used by the Ghana Armed Forces to promote good civil-military relations, both internally and internationally. The band provides melodious renditions at all national parades and ceremonies, and at the international level, the band continues to bring great credit and honor to the armed forces and our dear nation.
They need to halt at the time. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, what you are witnessing is a coordinated play of military music and movements by the mass band. The band halts, after which one section adopts a slow march, followed in succession by another quick march. The band then executes a right flanking attack and subsequently reforms, returning to its normal band formation. Spectacular display by the band. Shall we please put our hands together for them? Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now witness the march past in slow and quick time.
Ready, sharp, dead, and march fast in slow and quick time. It's column of contingent by the center. Slow march.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing a demonstration of the military's high sense of imagination, prompt decision making, speedy reaction to new situations, and the rapid transition from one action to another. These are the hallmarks of any professional soldier all over the world. During the march past, anytime the colors pass in front of where you are seated, you are kindly requested to rise as a mark of compliment to the colors. All personnel are please reminded to pay the appropriate compliments. Approaching the days is the number 1 graduating contingent under the command of Junior Under Officer Banachiga Maximus. His supernumeraries are Cadet Corporal Opoku Buedum and Senior Cadet Kayola Nyame. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Staff Sergeant Tefe Peter.
It is closely followed by the number 2 graduating contingent under the command of Cadet Sergeant Chikwa Emmanuel Kwesiban. His supernumeraries are Naval Cadet Kwe Antoinette Ayoko and Naval Cadet Edu Ofosuhene Nanayao. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Petty Officer Class 2 Na Michael.
Behind them is the color party with Senior Cadet Abraham Bedu carrying the national color and Senior Cadet Kwaku Joy carrying the academy color. The color escorts are Officer Cadet Afo Michael, Officer Cadet Afeto Courage, and Officer Cadet Odro Owusu Jeremiah. Marching majestically behind them is the Corps Sergeant Major, Warrant Officer Class 1, Glago Anthony.
The next is the number 3 graduating contingent, marching closely behind the color party. It is under the command of Cadet Sergeant Major Taki Otuni Ohene, with Cadet Quartermaster Adamu Koto Yusuf and Cadet Corporal Derry Nwata Malcolm as his supernumeraries. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Sergeant Nate Albert.
Following closely is the number 4 graduating contingent. It is under the command of Junior Under Officer Menu Apao Daniel, with Cadet Corporal Odu Martin Makafui and Senior Cadet Opoku Asante Samuel as the supernumeraries. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Staff Sergeant Osei Michael.
The next is the Navy contingent, also made up of permanent staff from the Ghana Navy. It is under the command of Cadet Corporal Alafa Anieteba Daniel. His supernumeraries are Naval Cadet Kwesi Richard and Naval Cadet Amega Frida. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Petty Officer Class 2 Hansen William.
The next is the Army contingent, also made up of permanent staff from the Ghana Army. It is under the command of Cadet Sergeant Kobek Kingsford Naimbe, with Officer Cadet Akins Isaac Marlene and Officer Cadet Darami Mohammed as the supernumeraries. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Sergeant Opoku Mensa Bernard. The next is the Air Force Escort contingent, also made up of permanent staff from the Ghana Air Force. It is under the command of Flight Cadet Opata Nehemiah. The supernumeraries are Flight Cadet Hayford Mamaba Esilifwa and Flight Cadet Awudu Mustafa. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Sergeant Golo Frank.
Riding the horse is the ceremonial parade adjutant, Captain Daniel Bwedu Opoku. He has been the course officer of the intake till today and has played a key role in transforming these grad ones to the level of discipline you are witnessing here today. He must be a very proud officer as he sees them off the square.
into quick time. Quick march.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is said that a ceremonial drill impeccably executed can never fail to be a source of excitement to those who watch it. And this is exactly what the graduates are striving to achieve while expressing pride in their performance. History has it that the march pass was developed to enhance the movement of troops from one place to another without getting mixed up with other troops. These graduating cadets are required to maintain well-calculated steps, intervals and distance as they march from one point to the other. Hence, body and mind must coordinate concurrently to achieve this.
In the horse is the ceremonial parade adjutant, Captain Daniel Bwedu Opoku. He's riding the horse Justice.
Shall we please give them a round of applause? Indeed, body and mind has coordinated to achieve this impeccable display. Shall we please rise for the national anthem? All personnel are please requested to pay the appropriate compliment.
Parade! National salute! Present! Arms!
Please be seated. The parade commander will now ask permission from the reviewing officer to stand the parade at ease for the presentation of awards and delivery of his address.
Your Excellency, march past over. May I have your permission to stand the parade at ease for presentation of awards, delivery of speech, and the conferment of commission. Your Excellency.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the table orderlies for today are Private Ozo Ernest and Private Ajalo Michael, both personnel of the Ghana Military Academy. During the course of the training of the graduating intake, some cadets performed exceptionally and their efforts will be rewarded today.
For this year's graduation ceremony, there will be 7 categories of awards. These are Military Cane, Academic Cane, Vanguard Award, Sextant Award, Eagle Award, the Chief of the Defense Staff Award, and the Overall Best Cadet Award, which is the Sword of Honor. The Acting Academy Sergeant Major, Senior Warrant Officer Class 1, Luga Patience Abla, is marching briskly into position for the presentation of awards. Once in position, she will call the award winners to the front.
Award!
all is now set for the presentation of awards, and this will be done by the reviewing officer, assisted by the Commandant, Ghana Military Academy. It is my singular honor to respectfully invite the reviewing officer, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to do us the honor. Mr. President.
First award is the Eagle Award. The Eagle Award, also known as the Chief of Air Staff's Award, is awarded to the overall best regular flight cadet in the Air Faculty. It is awarded to Cadet Sergeant Major Takiotu Ni Ohene. Cadet Sergeant Major Takiotu Ni Ohene was born on 7th August in Accra to Reverend Percy Ni Takiotu and Madam Mercy Na Takiotu. His educational journey began at Jodoro Integrated School in Achim Odan, where he successfully obtained his basic education certificate. He then proceeded to the Infantipim School, one of Ghana's renowned secondary institutions, where he earned his senior high school certificate. Cadet Sergeant Major Takiotu later gained admission to the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where he pursued a Bachelor of Science degree in mathematics, further sharpening his analytical and problem-solving abilities. Athletic by nature, he maintains an active lifestyle and in his leisure time enjoys playing basketball and following mixed martial arts. In addition to the plaque, he receives a laptop from the Chief of Air Staff. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in celebrating Cadet Sergeant Major Takiotu Ni Ohene with a round of applause.
The next award is the Sextant Award. The Sextant Award, which is also the Chief of the Naval Staff Award, is the highest honor conferred upon the overall best regular midshipman in the Naval Faculty. The recipient of this award is Junior Under Officer Abate Alex Kujo. Junior Under Officer Abate Alex Kujo was born on 2nd October to Mr. Daniel Yao Abate and Mrs. Gifty Abate. His journey is one marked by steady progress and quiet excellence. He began his formal education at Ajay Kojo Basic School in Ashiaman, where he obtained his basic education certificate, laying a strong foundation for what was to come. He proceeded to Chemu Senior High School, where he successfully earned his senior high education certificate, and went on to gain admission to the Regional Maritime University. There, he pursued a Bachelor of Science in Marine Engineering, graduating with second-class honors, a testament to his discipline, intellect, and commitment to hard work. Beyond academics, Junior Under Officer Abate is a cadet who values balance. He enjoys playing football, reading inspirational literature, and watching historical documents. In addition to the plaque, he receives a laptop from the Chief of Naval Staff. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Junior Under Officer Abate Alex Kojo.
The next award to be presented is the Vanguard Award. The Vanguard Award, also known as the Chief of Army Staff's Award, is given to the best Army cadet of regular career course. This year, the recipient of this award is Senior Under Officer Ejari Peter Selom. Senior Under Officer Ejari Peter Selom was born on 14th November in Accra to Mr. Francis Kweku Ejari and Mrs. Florence Ejari. He hails from KJB in the Oti region. Senior Under Officer Ejari began his educational journey at Cosmos Basic School in La Paz, where he received his basic education. He continued to Opoku Wari School, where he successfully obtained his senior high school certification before gaining admission to the University of Ghana. There he pursued a Bachelor of Science in Plant Biology and Biochemistry, graduating with a second-class honors. Beyond the classroom, Senior Under Officer Ejari is a cadet with creative and athletic interests. In his leisure time, he enjoys writing poems and playing basketball. In addition to the plaque, he receives a laptop from the Chief of Army Staff. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in acknowledging Senior Under Officer Ejari with a round of applause.
The next award to be presented is the Chief of the Defense Staff Award. This award is presented to the officer cadets adjudged the best all-round cadet in the Short Service and Special Duties Corps. This year, the award goes to Junior Under Officer Adams Ahmed Said. Junior Under Officer Adams Ahmed Said was born on 23rd October 1994 at Ketikrachi in the Oti region to Hajia Bintu Abdul Rahman and Ahaji Salifu Yushu Adams. He completed his junior high school education at Juasu Local Authority Junior High School in the Ashanti region, where he distinguished himself as the best BC candidate in the district in 2009. Junior Under Officer Adams proceeded to T.I. Ahmadiyya Senior High School, Kumasi, where he studied general science. In 2015, he was awarded a bilateral Ghana-Russian scholarship, enabling him to pursue a Doctor of Medicine degree at the First St. Petersburg State Medical University in the Russian Federation. He successfully completed his medical training in 2021. Upon returning to Ghana, he sat for the Medical and Dental Council examination for foreign trained doctors in February 2022, passing on his first attempt, and was duly inducted in July 2022. He subsequently undertook his housemanship at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, Kumasi, and the Tema General Hospital. A disciplined, well-rounded officer, he is proficient in English, Russia, Chi, Hausa, and Krachi. With a round of applause, let us congratulate Junior Under Officer Adams Ahmed Said.
The next award is the Academic Cane, a symbol of academic excellence. The Academic Cane is awarded to the cadets who placed third in the cumulative order of merit and is a symbol of academic excellence. The recipient of this award is Junior Under Officer Banachiga Maximus Clifford. Born on 20th November in Paga, in Ghana's Upper East region, to Mr. Ejari Banachiga and Madam Fatih Banachiga. Junior Under Officer Banachiga's journey reflects quiet determination and steady growth. His formative years in education were spent at High Standard Preparatory School, where he completed his junior high education and developed a discipline that would later define his path. He went on to attend Agri Memorial Zion Senior High School, where he successfully earned his senior high school certification. Driven by a deep interest in understanding people and human behavior, Junior Under Officer Banachiga gained admission to the University of Ghana, Legon, where he studied psychology, graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree. His academic choice speaks to a thoughtful, analytical mind, one that values insight, patience, and perspective. Outside formal duties, he finds balance in reading and playing chess, activities that reflect strategy, focus, and an appreciation for deliberate thinking. In addition to his academic cane, he receives a laptop from the Chief of Defense Staff. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Junior Under Officer Banachiga Maximus Clifford. The next award to be presented is the Military Cane. The Military Cane is a symbol of initiative, sharpness, and decisiveness. It is awarded to the second overall best cadet of the intake and adjudged the best in military skills. The recipient of this award is Junior Under Officer Abayate Alex Kojo. Junior Under Officer Abayate brings with him a solid academic pedigree, having earned a second-class honors degree in marine engineering from the Regional Maritime University after completing his secondary education at Chemu Senior High School. That academic foundation has clearly translated into his performance here, setting him apart amongst his peers. What makes Junior Under Officer Abayate particularly remarkable is the consistency with which he applies himself, whether in training, leadership tasks, or personal development. His passion for football reflects teamwork and resilience, while his interest in inspirational books and historical documentaries speaks to a cadet who learns not only from institutions, but from history and example. It is therefore fitting that His Excellence is being recognized once again today. In addition to his military cane, he receives a laptop from the Chief of Defense Staff. Ladies and gentlemen, for the second time this morning, kindly join me in applauding Junior Under Officer Abayate Alex Kojo.
Now to the ultimate award. The award every cadet dreams of. The numero uno. The creme de la creme. The best of the best. The highest honor that can be bestowed on a cadet. The sword of honor. It is a symbol of exemplary leadership qualities. The sword of honor is presented to the cadet adjudged the best all-round cadet in the regular career course 64. This year, the proud recipient of this prestigious prize is Senior Under Officer Ajari Peter Selom. As earlier noted, Senior Under Officer Ajari Peter is a graduate of the University of Ghana, where he earned second-class honors in plant biology and biochemistry. Following his studies, he undertook his mandatory national service at the Cocoa Research Institute of Ghana, where his commitment and professionalism led to his retention for nearly 8 months beyond the service period. That same consistency and sense of responsibility have since defined his journey at the Ghana Military Academy. Today's recognition therefore represents not just a single achievement, but the totality of his character, effort, and performance throughout the course. It is only fitting that the ultimate award of the day goes to a cadet whose path has been marked by purpose, perseverance, and distinction. In addition to his sword, he receives a laptop from the Chief of the Defense Staff. With a round of applause, shall we congratulate him once again. Thank you, Mr. President.
Some of the cadets on parade also won awards which were presented during the graduation dinner and graduation religious parade. Notable among these awards were the Falcon Award, presented to Cadet Sergeant Major Takio Tuni Ohene for being the best flight cadet from the graduating intake, the Fleet Award to Naval Cadet Kwe Antoinette Ayoko, adjudged the best naval cadet from the sea training, the King Neptune Award, presented to Junior Under Officer Abayate Alex Kojo for being the best midshipman in naval academics, the Diamond Award, presented to Cadet Sergeant Major Takio Tuni Ohene for being the best in air operations, the Chief of Defense Staff Prize Essay, presented to Flight Cadet Mensa Daniel Kofi. Other awards include the Best in Drill Award, presented to Flight Cadet Opata Nehemiah for regular career course 64 and Naval Cadet Amega Frida for short service commission and special duties course 62. Best Short Award, presented to Cadet Sergeant Major Takio Tuni Ohene for regular career course 64 and Senior Cadet Aqua Christian Fosu for short service commission and special duties course 62. The marksmen of the intakes and best in tactics were presented to regular career course 64 and short service career course 62 Cadet Corporal Alafa Anantiabe Daniel. Details and recipients of other award winners are captured in the program and Square magazine. Congratulations to all award recipients. The microphone orderly is Lance Corporal Obeng Benjamin.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the reviewing officer's address and the conferment of the Presidential Commission. Once again, it is my singular honor to respectfully invite the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to deliver his address. Mr. President.
The Acting Minister for Defense, Ministers of State and senior government officials present, Chief of the Defense Staff, Members of Parliament and other guests, Members of the Council of State, Service Chiefs of the Ghana Armed Forces, Commandant of the Ghana Military Academy, and all commandants present, generals and heads of sister security services, officers, soldiers, defense civilian staff, graduating officer cadets, families of graduating officer cadets, distinguished guests, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen. At the last parade, we had several of our colleagues with us, including our former Minister of Defense. Unfortunately, they died in a tragic helicopter crash. We pray that God gives them peaceful repose in heaven. I give thanks to the Almighty God and express my profound pleasure at joining you once again for the graduation parade of the Ghana Military Academy. What we have witnessed this morning is a powerful demonstration of discipline, professionalism and excellence, which is a hallmark of the Ghana Armed Forces. The precision, confidence and bearing of the 263 officer cadets on parade today reflect months of rigorous training and personal sacrifice. The crisp drills, coordinated movements, and prompt execution of commands testify to the high standards of leadership and instruction offered at this academy. I commend the Military High Command, the Commandant, and the entire training staff for their devotion and sacrifice in transforming these cadets from civilians into officers ready to serve the Republic. You have upheld the Academy's noble motto of service, devotion, and sacrifice. Commissioning officers in these times of limited resources underscores our resolve to maintain a capable and resilient armed forces to confront the security challenges of our time. Distinguished guests, the security environment in our sub-region remains complicated and volatile. Violent extremism, terrorism, and transnational crime continue to pose serious threats, particularly along our northern border. Globally, the rise of non-state actors and asymmetric warfare has reshaped the nature of security challenges. These realities demand a comprehensive and coordinated national response. Security cannot be seen as the sole responsibility of the armed forces and security agencies. It is a shared national duty. Citizens, communities, traditional authorities, civil society, and governments must work together to protect the peace and stability we all so cherish. I therefore urge all Ghanaians to remain vigilant and security conscious in safeguarding our nation's peace. As we celebrate our graduating cadets, we do so against the backdrop of Ghana's proud legacy in international peace support operations. Since 1960, when Ghana first participated in a UN mission in the Republic of Congo, our nation has remained steadfast in its commitment to global peace and security. Today, Ghana is among the leading troop contributing countries to the United Nations peacekeeping missions. Our men and women serve with distinction in 15 missions worldwide under the United Nations, the African Union, and the ECOWAS. From Lebanon to South Sudan and from Abyei to Somalia, Ghanaian peacekeepers continue to earn global respect for their professionalism, discipline, and respect for human dignity. I assure you that transparency, fairness, and merit will continue to guide the selection of personnel for peace support operations, ensuring that only the most qualified represent our nation abroad. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Ghana has also distinguished herself as a leader in gender inclusion in peacekeeping. Our female participation in formed units and staff positions significantly exceeds United Nations targets, affirming our commitment to equity and operational excellence. Exposure to conflict environments has reinforced the Ghana Armed Forces' deep respect for constitutional rule and democratic governance. In a sub-region challenged by unconstitutional changes of government, our armed forces remain firm defenders of our democracy, civilian authority, and the rule of law. To our graduating cadets, you inherit this proud tradition. Uphold it with honor, courage, and integrity. My fellow citizens, our natural resources are a sacred trust, and yet illegal mining has caused severe damage to our rivers, our forests, and our farmlands. In response, my government established the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, and implemented a comprehensive strategy centered on strict enforcement, public education, alternative livelihoods, technology, and institutional coordination. These measures are producing results. Forests and river bodies have been declared security zones. Permanent military bases have been established, and offenders have been arrested and are being prosecuted. Rivers such as the Pra, Ankobra, and Ofin are gradually recovering. Let me be clear. Illegal mining will continue to be confronted decisively and without fear or favor. But this fight requires national unity. It is a moral, civic, and generational duty. And I call on all Ghanaians to stand together to restore and protect our land. As we celebrate today, we remain mindful of conflicts in Boko, Biniyiri, Nkwanta, and other places which have disrupted lives and livelihoods. The government has increased security presence, facilitated mediation among traditional leaders and stakeholders, also provided humanitarian assistance, and initiated long-term development interventions to address the root causes. To our soon-to-be commissioned officers, your duty extends beyond combat readiness. You are guardians of peace, justice, and national unity. Serve with courage, humility, and professionalism. At the recent Armed Forces Wasa, I addressed some difficulties this administration has inherited from the previous government regarding payments of gratuities to our retiring officers. And I indicated that government would work to resolve these challenges surrounding the CI 129. Unfortunately, some of our retirees have opted to seek legal recourse. I wish to assure the affected officers that government will not shirk its responsibility to our men and women in uniform who have served our nation well, and that will find an acceptable solution to this challenge. Distinguished guests, strengthening the operational readiness of the Ghana Armed Forces remains a #1 priority for my administration. We're investing in modern equipment, advanced training, and improved welfare to respond effectively to terrorism, piracy, and cross-border crime. Plans are well advanced to acquire new helicopters to enhance air mobility of our Air Force and rapid response capabilities. We'll also soon receive rotor blades to bring our MH-17 heavy lift helicopters back into service. In addition, the multi-purpose sports complex, which I promised in my last address to you, has been included in the Big Push program and will be delivered soon. At the recent WASA, I cut the sword to mark the start of construction of 2,000 assorted housing units for the armed forces. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just the beginning of our program to provide 10,000 new housing units for our armed forces over the next 5 years. Over the next 3 years, approximately 12,000 new personnel will be recruited nationwide, supported by the establishment of forward operating bases in strategic border areas. These initiatives reflect our unwavering commitment to a professional, resilient, and well-equipped armed forces. Several years ago, in my first incarnation as President, I addressed you as your Commander-in-Chief in the ceremonial uniform of the infantry, the Ghana Army. Last year, I addressed you at this same event in the ceremonial uniform of the Navy. Today, I address you in the ceremonial uniform of the Ghana Air Force. This is to pay respect to our men and women of the Air Force who work tirelessly to keep our country safe. Graduating cadets, today marks a defining moment in your lives. In a few moments, you will no longer be officer cadets, but commissioned officers of the Ghana Armed Forces. Leadership is not about rank or privilege, it is about responsibility, service, and sacrifice. I urge you to lead with integrity, uphold courage in adversity, show compassion in command, inspire loyalty amongst your men, command respect, and honor the traditions of the Ghana Armed Forces. The path ahead of you will test you, but your training has prepared you very well to serve with pride and unwavering loyalty to Ghana. I congratulate all award winners and commend your excellence in leadership, academics, and military skills. To all graduating cadets, on behalf of the government and people of Ghana, I extend to you my warmest congratulations. Long live the Ghana Armed Forces, long live our democracy, long live Ghana, and may God bless us all. Now I proceed to the conferment. By the powers vested in me by the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, I, as President of the Republic and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, do hereby grant you the graduating officers of cadets of Regular Career Course 64 and Short Service and Special Duties Intake 62, the President's Commission into the Ghana Armed Forces. Congratulations.
Of the Presidential Commission by the reviewing officer. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Congratulations to you, the newly commissioned officers. We wish you well.
Let's go. We are done.
Parade! Turn us east!
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today's parade was proudly sponsored by Trillion Industries Limited. Officers selected for the peeping ceremony are to report immediately to the dining room for the Officer Cadets Mess. Access to the Cadets Mess is restricted for the second part of today's ceremony. as only those required to be in the mess will be allowed to entry. You are therefore respectfully requested to remain on the parade square. Serving and retired officers and soldiers are also kindly requested to remain on the square. Having received the President's commission, these newly commissioned officers will march off to be decorated with the appropriate officer ranks. However, before they do, they will have to hand over the colors to their juniors, regular career course 65. As mentioned earlier, the colors embody the soul and spirit of the academy, and symbolically, it has to be handed over from one course to the other. In other words, from generation to generation.
The parade commander will now seek permission from the President of the Republic of Ghana to hand over the colors and march off the graduates.
Parade! Parade! Shin! Show! Dead! On! Your Excellency, presentation of awards, delivery of speech, and the conferment of commission over. May I have your permission to hand over the colors and march off the graduates? Your Excellency.
The graduates will now hand over the colors to their junior intake.
Graduates, hand over the colors. Left! Left! Go! March!
Officers selected for the peeping ceremony are pleased to report to the dining room of the cadet mess. The new ensigns to take over the colors are Officer Cadet Amwa Emmanuel for the national color and Officer Cadet Dramani Mohammed for the Ghana Military Academy color. With the metrics of leadership represented by these colors passed on, I am certain that come next graduation, God willing, regular career course 65 will look forward to passing on this mantle to their juniors if they meet the required standards to join the ranks of the officer corps.
full troop. Escort contingent in close order. March. Junior Parade Commander.
Sir.
Carry on.
Escort contingent. 4. Serious. Inward. Set. Quick. March.
Government by the center. Slow. March.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is the best moment these newly commissioned officers have been waiting for. They are marching off to be decorated in the officer ranks to suit their new status. As the band plays the farewell songs, these newly commissioned officers are saying goodbye to the four corners of this academy. The journey has been very hectic. The journey has been very hectic, demanding and torturous. The simple message from all of us to you, the newly commissioned officers, is that your training to become a professional officer does not end here. In your units, you will need to continue to learn and prepare yourselves into responsible leaders in whose hands the security of this great nation and her citizenry can safely be placed. A high standard of discipline and performance will be required of you by your superiors, peers, and importantly, the men placed under your command. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today these young officers will take up the mantle to sit on the proverbial wall of life to defend it from all ills. We beseech their families, friends and loved ones here and beyond to never relent in their physical and spiritual support for them. By far, the task they are gallantly taking up for the country, the soldiers they will command, and for themselves is an arduous one. Hence, they cannot fail. They should not fail. Hopefully, they will never fail. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, access to the cadet mess is restricted for the second part of today's ceremony, as only those required to be in the mess will be allowed entry. You are therefore respectfully requested to remain on the parade square. 7 retired officers and soldiers are kindly requested to remain on the square.
At the center of the stairway to the balcony of the Officer Cadet Mess is the Acting Academy Sergeant Major, Senior Warrant Officer Class 1, Loga Patience Ablan, who with the support of her able non-commissioned officers have tirelessly helped to bring these officers to this high standard as we have witnessed this morning. With a high sense of pride and great achievement, she is paying her first compliments to these newly commissioned officers. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, throughout history, horses played a crucial role in providing support to armies in the field. A horse gave extra height to its rider during battle, and this allowed war generals and their staff to observe a wider area and additionally providing the necessary mobility required to direct the battle. Today, many of the historical military uses of the horse have evolved into peacetime applications, including historical exhibitions, reenactment, and ceremonial parades. The ceremonial parade adjutant's horse goes by the name Justice. Justice was born on 9th July 2014 at the Mounted Squadron, now the 156 Cavalry Regiment in Bemakam. He performs the following duties: cross-country, wedding escort, and military parades. Justice is 12 years old. Riding the horse Justice is the ceremonial parade adjutant, Captain Daniel Opoku. He is one of the course officers of these newly commissioned officers and has played a pivotal role in their training right from their inception till date. He is proudly seeing these newly commissioned officers off to be decorated in the appropriate officer ranks. Symbolically, he was behind the parade commander, Second Lieutenant Selom Peter Ejari, to show his loyalty and full support for them and their chosen unknown path.
Escort Contingent! Outwards! Sit!
The parade is now under the command of the Junior Parade Commander,
Quick! March!
Officer Cadet Akins Isaac Kamalin, a cadet of regular career course 65. He will soon ask for permission from the reviewing officer to march off the colors and remainder of the parade.
Escort Contingent to the advance! Right and left! Sit!
The Junior Parade Commander is marching briskly to ask permission to march off the colors and remainder of the parade.
Ghana Military Academy 2026 graduation parade over. May I have your permission to march off the colors and the rest of the parade? Officer Cadet Akins Isaac Kamali reporting. Your Excellency.
The Junior Parade Commander, having taken command of the remainder of the parade, has sought permission from the reviewing officer to march off the colors and the remainder of the parade. Certainly, this young man is having an early taste of command. He will, however, need to work really hard to maintain his status next graduation. We can only wish him and his colleagues well. Shall we please rise for the national anthem?
Pray! National salute!
All personnel are requested to pay the appropriate compliment.
March of the colors.
Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, as the colors pass where you are seated, you are please requested to be on your feet. All personnel are reminded to pay the appropriate compliment.
By the center! Quick! March! Carry direction west! Right! Boom! Forward!
Reviewing officer, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all too soon we have come to the end of the first part of this morning's graduation ceremony. Finally, on behalf of the Military High Command officers, men, civilian staff, and indeed the families of these newly commissioned officers, I wish to express our profound gratitude to you, Mr. President, for coming to grace this all-important ceremony. It is indeed a great honor for us to interact with you, and we are most grateful. Our appreciation also goes out to all ministers present, members of the diplomatic corps, and all specially invited guests. And now to you, the rest of our guests and well-wishers here present, we thank you for your presence and cooperation. Also to our sponsors for this morning, Trillium Industries Limited, thank you for answering our call when we came calling. The second part of this morning's parade, which is the presentation of the commissioning parchments to the newly commissioned officers by the review officer, will take place at the anteroom of the officers' mess. Access to the mess is controlled, so all are humbly requested to cooperate with security and protocol officers. All are reminded that only special guests invited for the parchment ceremony will be permitted to enter the officer cadets mess.